Abia leaders adopt Alex Otti as sole governorship candidate for 2027, a political signal that cannot be ignored. Hello my people, something major is quietly unfolding in Abia State, and anyone watching the politics of the Southeast closely will understand why this development is not just another endorsement. It is a strategic statement, a political message, and possibly the beginning of what could become one of the most decisive re-election campaigns in Abia's modern history. A coalition of Abia political leaders operating under the platform of the Abia Council of Traditional Prime Ministers has officially adopted Governor Alex Otti as their sole governorship candidate for the 2027 election. This adoption was not a casual expression of support. It was presented as a collective resolution by a traditional and political structure that claims influence at the grassroots level, and in a state where elections are often determined by local alliances, community leadership, and political networks. This is the kind of move that can tilt the balance of power long before party primaries even begin. The announcement came after the council's quarterly meeting held on Tuesday in Umuahia, the Abia state capital. And from the tone of their communique, it is clear that the council is not simply endorsing Otti. They are positioning him as the candidate of continuity, stability, and visible progress. Beyond adopting Otti as their only candidate, the council also passed a vote of confidence in him. That matters because in Nigerian politics, endorsement can be symbolic, but a vote of confidence often carries a deeper meaning. It signals satisfaction with governance and a willingness to defend the administration against political opposition. In their communique signed by the council's president, Chief Uche Akukwegbu, and presented by Chief Okesisi Habo, the leaders said their decision was driven by what they described as visible transformation and development across the state's major cities. This is where the endorsement becomes more interesting, because the council is not just saying we support the governor. They are saying we have assessed the situation, we have seen the results, and we are choosing continuity over uncertainty. And in the political climate leading to 2027, that is a powerful argument. One of the most striking aspects of the council's statement is how strongly it leans into the language of physical evidence. They repeatedly referenced what they described as visible development, especially in Aba and Umuahia, and framed their support as performance-based rather than party-based. That is significant because Abia is a state where the electorate has often felt trapped between political promises and lived realities. So when a traditional leadership body publicly insists that its endorsement is based on visible outcomes, it shifts the political conversation away from slogans and into measurable governance. In fact, the council went as far as calling themselves the grasses that generate the roots, a metaphor designed to emphasize their grassroots influence and their role in shaping public opinion from the ground up. They essentially said, "We are the foundation of community mobilization, and we are prepared to work for Otti's re-election in 2027. That is not just praise. That is campaign commitment." The council specifically highlighted Aba, Abia's commercial hub, as a major reason for their adoption of Otti. According to them, Aba has grown beyond what they describe as its old glory and now reflecting the features of an ultra-modern city, particularly in roads, infrastructure, security, commerce, and electricity. Whether one agrees with the scale of the transformation or not, it is clear that Aba has become the political symbol of Otti's administration. In Abia politics, Aba is not just a city, it is a political battleground and an economic heartbeat. Any governor who gains credibility in Aba gains leverage across the state. The council's message was simple: Aba is changing, and that change must continue. They also praised development in Umuahia, describing it as transformed into an ultra-modern metropolitan city capable of competing with other West African state capitals. That is an ambitious comparison, and it reveals how the council wants to frame Otti's leadership as a governor not merely doing average improvements, but one taking Abia into a new era. The communiqué also drew attention to the Umuahia ultramodern bus terminal, which they said is about 95% ready for commissioning. They called it a wonder center and described it as something they had never witnessed east of the Niger. Now, in political terms, infrastructure like this becomes more than a project. It becomes a symbol. It becomes a talking point. It becomes something the administration can point to as proof of modernization, planning, and development-driven governance. And for traditional institutions to highlight it so prominently shows that the project has gained strong public perception value, which is exactly what any incumbent needs heading into an election cycle. Now, pointing to that of the electricity program, which they claim is 99% ready for the takeover of electricity distribution in the state. If that claim translates into real impact on daily life, then it is not just a project, it is a political weapon. Electricity is one of the most emotional governance issues in Nigeria. It affects businesses, households, security, productivity, and cost of living. If a state government is seen to be making bold moves towards improving electricity distribution, it automatically changes the political narrative. And by highlighting this, the council is effectively telling the public, this governor is not just repairing roads, he is tackling structural issues that affect economic life. That is the kind of message that resonates deeply with traders, manufacturers, and the young people trying to survive in a difficult economy. The council also praised Otti for regular payment of salaries and pensions. That may sound like a basic responsibility, but in many Nigerian states, it is not always guaranteed, and politically, it is one of the fastest ways to earn trust. When civil servants are paid consistently, it stabilizes households. When pensioners receive their entitlements, it builds goodwill, and when these things happen regularly, it creates a base of supporters who may not be loud online but are powerful at the ballot box. Now, the council did not stop at praising Otti. They also dismissed the opposition, stating that they have nothing to offer Abia people. That is a blunt political statement, and it suggests that the traditional prime ministers are not positioning themselves as neutral observers. They are positioning themselves as active defenders of the incumbent. They ended with strong language. We are solidly behind him, and there is nothing that will happen. In political terms, that is confidence. It is also a warning to challengers that the incumbent has serious local backing, and any attempt to destabilize the political environment will be resisted. My people, here is the final takeaway from this entire development. This adoption is not just about Alex Otti. It is about what Abia's political stakeholders are beginning to prioritize: performance, stability, and continuity. It is about the growing importance of visible governance outcomes in shaping political loyalty. And most importantly, it is a clear signal that some influential grassroots structures are already preparing for 2027, not with uncertainty, but with a decision. The road to 2027 is still long. Politics can shift quickly, alliances can change, but one thing is certain: endorsements like this shape the early narrative, and narratives often decide elections before votes are cast. But here is the big question: if Abia traditional leaders have already chosen Alex Otti as the only option for 2027, will the political parties and opposition forces accept it quietly or fight back harder than ever? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more breaking political updates and deep analysis as 2027 approaches.
It's just Angle.